My sister couldn't do it, so she would walk the dog back and then just steal the dog. I don't know the laws on all that, but I'm sure now people are finding out that their dog's still alive right now. So we got Annie. Annie was getting put down. She was a hunting dog, and she was terrible at it. And she was bred to be a hunting dog, and she was just like a misfit toy that just didn't do it. She got shot once, and that's because the guy, he would be doing target practice, and then she'd just walk in front of the targets, and he would hit her, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "What are you doing?" She had no awareness about her, the senses that dogs have. We had turkeys in our backyard once, and I let her out to go chase these turkeys. Retired hunting dog, figured that's fun. And we have a very normal backyard. It's not Yellowstone Park. You can see all of it at all times. I push her out, and she just pees and then comes back in the house. Never sees the turkeys. And I'm just looking at her you didn't feel anything? Nothing was going? I sensed it as a human on the couch. I felt there was turkeys outside. You want to take just one lap around, see if... The guy used her a lot for duck hunting, so he would shoot a duck. She's supposed to run and go get it and then bring it back. So what I like to picture is he shoots the duck, she runs out, comes back, no duck. And she's like, "I don't even know what we're doing." All right, I did not. A million things flew in the air when you shot that gun, and I'm supposed to know which one you hit. And the guy's just looking at her, and then she's like, "You're not even the guy that I came out here with. Do you see? Is there another guy out here by any chance?" Our daughter would put birthday cone hats on her, and one slipped over her eye, and it was like that for 6 hours. I was just trying to see how long, how's it accidentally not coming off? And she was just going about her day, just eating, drinking, yeah, I can't see all that eye no more, all right? That's the cards I was dealt, and that's okay. And then I pulled it off of her, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't know you were a doctor." And I'm like, "I am a doctor." It's just two dumb animals talking to each other. So she had skin cancer, and she would get all these spots on her. So we kept getting them removed. But it was really starting to take a toll on her, and she was older. So we knew the day was close. And our daughter, she's 6 now, but she was 5 at the time. This was her first pet. She was best friends with this dog. And it was the first thing that was going to die in her lifetime. So it's a lot of stuff to have to explain to a kid, And so I was talking to my wife about, how are we going to tell her? And at first I was like, let's just act like we didn't have a dog. 5-year-olds are smart, but if we stick together on this... And she comes home from school and is like, "Where's the dog?" And we're like, "What dog?" I've never seen a dog. Don't you think I would know if there was a dog? But I read an article about the long-term damage of that. It's pretty good. So I was just honest with her. And I set her down. I said, "Look, Annie's very sick and she's older and she's going to die soon. This happens, so just love her as much as you can right now." And she took it as good as a 5-year-old can take it. So the next day, I kind of told her again, you got to tell kids over and over again. I kind of kept telling her. I didn't want this to be a surprise. And then Annie surprised us by living 6 months longer. I mean, we were way off on when we thought she was going to die. But I already started telling my daughter I didn't want to stop and then have to start it again. So I just kept it up for 6 months. Every day I was like, she'll die. All right, she will die. She will die, I will die, your mom's dead. So finally the day was here, and our daughter was at school. And so my sister and my wife, they took Annie to go have to put her to sleep. And I went to go pick up our daughter to tell her. I've already been telling her. And so I picked her up, I told her, it was brutal. Very sad. She took it as if this was the first she's heard about it. We get home, and my wife was like, "How was it?" Which is already a dumb, it was great. I loved it. Can't wait for the next thing to die. Nice to say I told you so, I told my wife it was terrible, And then my wife goes, you didn't tell her that I did it, did you? And I was like, no, why would I say that? Like, I didn't even think about it, you know? Then I looked at her like, is that what you would have said, though? Would you have told her that I did it? You know how your dad's been talking with the dog dying? Well, he's finally had enough. We've been married 12 years, and our wedding, it was not good. This is not my fault. This was my mom and my wife planned the wedding, and they're both cheap. So they cut corners. If we hire someone to do something at our house, I promise he does not do that job full time. He'll be fixing our dishwasher, and we're like, do you paint houses? And he's like, yeah, I probably could paint houses, you know? His business card says, how hard could it be, right? Can't be that hard. We got married on Friday the 13th, got a pretty sweet deal on that. They were wide open. We were like, what times are available? They go, every one of them, all 24. You can call us that day if you want. Her brother married us. That was free. The photographer was just a buddy of ours that had he just bought a new camera. So we were like, you gonna do our wedding? Never done anything professionally, and it showed. His camera stopped working during it, and he started taking stuff out of it. Like, that would be the problem. Like, it's like, yeah, you know what? I bet they put too much stuff inside of it when they built it. You should yank some of those wires. That's not supposed to be in there like that. Our DJ was awful, and that's because we got my mom to hire the DJ. I don't know who thinks to ask someone in their 50s for DJ recommendations. No one ever is like, Mom, are you in with the local DJ scene by any chance? She hired someone older than her. He just had CDs, and this was when computers were doing real good. He got super drunk, played the same song 3 times in a row. White Wedding, which he said was by Billy Joel. He only had one leg, seriously, and that's fine, you know, no one cares. Until he starts messing up, and then you're like, why does he have one leg? The best wedding I've ever been to was my cousin's wedding. It was a real redneck affair. It was right outside Louisville, Kentucky, where my parents are from. And my cousin's name is Tuesday, which is a good start. The invitation said, Tuesday's getting married, rehearsals Friday, wedding Saturday. People were like, we gotta be there Monday for this wedding? How long is this wedding? It's a week? We get there, I'm wearing a button-down shirt, khaki pants, nothing crazy. I'm wildly overdressed. I look like I work there. Everybody else just has a football or basketball jersey on. My uncle, his daughters get married. He has his tuxedo jacket, pants, cummerbund, bow tie, no shirt. They forgot his shirt, and instead of waiting to go get it, he was like, let's do it without it, right? Like, that's... And he doesn't have a body that's like, that's cool, man. You know, he has a body that you're like, put your jacket on backwards, flip it around. Yeah. And then you see his back, and you're like, whew, all right, go back the regular way. Yeah, that's my fault. How's your back worse than your front? We go into the church. It's bride and groom. Looks like it's home and away. That's how many jerseys are in there. Guys are drinking beers in the church. Like, that's something I've never heard a pastor be like, guys, could we not drink alcohol in the church? And they're like, oh, didn't know this was the nice part of town. All right. The reception is next door, just at a lady's house, like in her backyard. Like, she doesn't do, it isn't like she's like, and I do receptions all the time. We were her one and only reception. So we walk over. They took a horse and buggy. The horse was the oldest horse I've ever seen. I thought it was a donkey. I thought they got a deal on a donkey. And the guy was like, this horse was in the Kentucky Derby. Like, the first one that they did? Is that Secretariat's father? How old is this horse, man? You know they lay down, right? So we walked. It took them 45 minutes. They went up a driveway and back down the next driveway. They're sweating, almost divorced by the time they get there. The reception, like I said, it's in her backyard. They put plywood on the grass, like side by side, to make a dance floor. We danced just to a radio station on a boombox. Just like 104.5. You would have to stop for weather and traffic updates. There was a punch bowl that was low to the ground, like on a low table. And so I was giving it to kids. I was trying to help out. And then someone was like, that's wine. And I gave it to so many kids. I don't know anything about wine, but I don't think they tell you to pour it into a bowl. Like, that's not, no one's ever like, let's get out of that box, get in a bowl. You know, let's let it breathe a little bit. I got a couple 9-year-olds pretty loose that night. The end of the night comes, everybody's drunk, children, adults, it's across the board. A fight breaks out. We hear some of y'all fight. And I mean, you're sitting there, you got a 50-50 shot. It's not your side of the family. We get over there, it's 100% our side. It's my dad's aunt and an uncle, both rolling around on the ground. They're in their late 70s. He wanted to leave, she did not. So they thought, let's just handle it in front of everybody. She's on top of him, she punches him, he then punches her, and you're like, you can't do that, you know? So we gotta get him apart, and he starts fighting us, and he's a pretty good fighter, all right? He's punching women in public. You don't think he's handled some dudes in his lifetime? That ends the night. You know, you can't be like, all right, guys, let's calm. Let's cut the radio back on, find a good station. Tuesday is sadly divorced now. That did not work out. My dad's aunt and uncle, sadly, it did work out. They're still together. So that's our family, you know. It's a pretty wild bunch. My dad is a magician. He's done that my entire life. He was a clown at the very beginning, just in case you're like, how do you get into something like that? He goes clown then magic. There's 2 steps. You can take them in either order. I was born, he was a clown. It was never weird to me. I thought everybody's dad was a clown. My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up with this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge. And I remember it didn't fit, the Easter Bunny head didn't fit in the car, like he couldn't sit normal, so his head was bent to the side. And I remember he had his seatbelt on, and he's just like, and I was like, I like to think about all the other people that saw that just in the car next to him, just at a red light. You're like, I didn't even know they hung out like that. So me and my dad, he just does magic now, and he's very good at what he does. He's very funny, and we do shows together. So one time we did this show. Magicians have conventions where they get together, and they're buy and sell tricks, and they give a lecture, and they do this big show. So this guy was putting one together in Des Moines, Iowa, which is the birthplace of magic, something a lot of people don't know. And it's not, but it does sound like it could be. I don't know why. I said that in Des Moines, and people are like, I think I already knew that. They're like, yeah, he's right. So this guy calls me, he's like, your dad's performing this year, so we want you to come down, and we're gonna make you appear out of a magic trick. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna surprise my dad, surprise the audience, everybody will go crazy, and then I'll do 5 minutes of stand-up, and that will end the show. He's like, it's gonna be like a big deal. And I was like, all right, I agreed to it. I fly to Des Moines, I'm hiding, I'm in my room, no one knows I'm there. The show starts, my dad's out performing, I climb in a box backstage. When my dad gets done performing, they ask him to stay and help, and they push the box out. The trick is, the guy is a very pretty lady assistant, she walks around, shows the boxes